Right now at noon, as election season nears, campaign signs from all parties are being vandalized or stolen.
And temperatures warming up, a day above average out there, and that's going to be the trend for a while. A look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, the Peoria tribe looks to grow produce year-round with a massive new greenhouse project in Miami.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Authorities identify skeletal remains found in Wilson County, Kansas, and arrest a Neodesha man for murder in the case. This is KOM News at noon. I'm Elise Snowy. Authorities arrested Joseph Ferraro on a warrant for first-degree murder. The arrest came yesterday afternoon in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Last Tuesday morning, Neodesha police found skeletal remains in a pasture on Ottawa Road in Wilson County. They called in the sheriff's office and KBI to help investigate. Also Tuesday, the KBI identified the victim as Levi Ellis, also of Neodesha. Now, the cause of death was not released, and Ferraro is currently in the Tulsa County Jail awaiting extradition. Now let's check in with Chris Warner for a look at the forecast.
Yeah, not doing too bad temperature-wise so far, but we will be warming up a bit above normal this afternoon. Quick live look from the MoDOT camera, 20th and Rangeline in Joplin. Looking to the south, skies are clear, and of course traffic moving, always a good thing. Our camera downtown Pittsburgh also looking great. You can see no clouds out there, just crystal clear blue skies as far as I can see. Now, how's this yesterday? The most textbook day we've had in quite some time. We started at 52, made it up to 76, up right on where we're supposed to be. That's about the only normal day we're going to have. 71 in Pittsburgh, 74 right now in Joplin, and temperatures, of course, to the south a little warmer. So in Oklahoma, we've got the mid 70s. Elsewhere, we're getting into the low to mid 70s, a couple of upper 60s out there as well. As we head through the rest of the evening, of course, once we reach our highs, we'll start to cool back down. Falling back through the low 60s by 11 o'clock, holding on to those clear skies, and winds will eventually be shifting out of the south later tonight as well. That's going to get windy and warmer for us on our Thursday. We'll have a look at the full forecast here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, thanks, Chris. Well, campaign signs are a common part of election season, found in yards and roadsides. Now, we told you earlier this week there have been reports of these signs being vandalized or even stolen in southwest Missouri. And as KOM's Samantha Walker shows us, it's a problem in southeast Kansas as well.
Every election I've ever paid attention to, there have always been thefts of signs or vandalizing of signs or different, destruction one way or another. And it's something that we never want to see, and it's certainly not the right way to get your opinion across.
Campaign signs from all parties are now being targeted. Behind me is just one example. It's a Harris wall sign that was slashed down the middle and has now been taped back up. Many local Democratic parties are now using the slogan, "You can take our signs, but not our votes," as a response to the vandalism and thefts.
I don't know if they think they're silencing something. We have plenty of signs. We've been replacing all of them that have been taken down, so they're not stopping the conversation.
Signs have been targeted all across the 4 states. The Crawford County Democratic Party says they know of roughly 30 signs that have been stolen, and their large campaign signs have been targets of vandalism multiple times. Those with the Crawford County Republican Party say they've stopped keeping track because the thefts and vandalisms are so common during election season. According to the Pittsburgh Police Department, targeted attacks on campaign signs is not usually a legal expression of speech.
Depending on the dollar amount of the item that's damaged or stolen, it could potentially be like a lower level misdemeanor, or it could be a very high misdemeanor depending on what's going on, or felony. But in cases of signs, they're typically low dollar items, but it's still a Class A misdemeanor in Kansas to steal something that doesn't belong to you, and it's a Class B misdemeanor to damage something that doesn't belong to you.
Political groups say they believe there are more constructive ways to support your candidate or express your discontent with others.
I mean, there are candidate forums, people can get involved, but stealing signs doesn't really accomplish much.
The right way to do that is to make contact with your political party and help them out. We want to do things like voter registration drives and phone drives and even prepping envelopes for mailers. Any number of things, but the last thing that's going to be productive is to vandalize somebody's sign or steal it. That's literally not going to accomplish anything except make you look bad.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The political organizations and the Pittsburgh Police Department recommend keeping campaign signs in view of security or doorbell cameras if possible. This will make it easier to see and identify people vandalizing and stealing signs. A Carthage woman involved in a movement called Don't Mess with Our Kids speaks out about gender reassignment for children. This is in response to Missouri Amendment 3, which would provide for the right to reproductive health care without governmental interference. Now, the movement believes children are being indoctrinated in the school system. However, some teachers who have worked in classrooms say that isn't the case.
Many people have opinions, but what we're concerned about is what is God's opinion, because He's the only one that actually has a bigger answer than the rest of us.
But as far as Amendment 3, I am in total support of restoring reproductive rights to life.
The movement is planning a march and pray event next week in Washington, D.C. Missourians will vote on Amendment 3 on November 5th. Well, yesterday, the Peoria Tribe in Miami held a groundbreaking for their new 35,000 square foot greenhouse. KOAM's Melissa Alexis takes us there.
Everything will be picked fresh, so it'll have the highest nutrient content possible by the time it makes it out to all the people.
Construction will be underway for the Peoria Tribe's new greenhouse this fall. A project that's been in the making for a while.
You know, this feels like something I've been working for, the culmination of my education and my work experience to be able to do this.
The greenhouse will grow lettuce, bell peppers, strawberries, and more. One of the driving forces of the creation of the greenhouse is food sovereignty for the tribe.
This greenhouse will be providing for the child care programs, the elder care programs. We have a food distribution center and network that we're currently building, as well as all of our food enterprises, the restaurants, casino that the tribe owns.
They also plan to tackle the issue of food insecurity in Ottawa County.
Ottawa County, by a lot of like USDA government standards, is a food desert to begin with. So to be able to have a high quality food in an area that needs it the most, it just means everything to me.
They're looking forward to the greenhouse providing more job opportunities for the tribal community.
We're hoping to educate community members and train people to work with us and either work for us or find jobs, in and out of the community in the horticulture greenhouse industry.
We're going to have the opportunity to bring apprenticeships in to teach people how to work in greenhouses. We'll be able to have the ability to teach people how to plant and harvest their own food.
One of their goals is to provide the community with locally grown foods. Reporting in Miami, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
The Peoria Tribe's plan is for the greenhouse to be finished by next spring. Coming up, young visitors to the Joplin Public Library can take a walk through an adventure story. And later, we're making chopstick veggie fried rice in the Mr. Food Kitchen. Well, Carthage is celebrating homecoming this week, and students at Pleasant Valley Elementary are taking part in the festivities with a Western theme. Today's students were able to dress up in some country flair and enjoy a visit from some barnyard animals. Students were able to have hands-on opportunities to interact with various animals such as ducks, chickens, bunnies, goats, and a playful pig.
See how the sizes of them and the noises they make is a good thing. Just hands-on experience. A lot of them don't get this if they live in town and get to see all the animals.
The school hopes this fun educational experience will leave a lasting impression on the young minds. October is Fire Prevention Safety Month, and yesterday afternoon, kids in McCune, Kansas got a lesson on what to do in emergency situations. Battalion Chief Mike Shoemaker talked about what to do when you're sleeping and your fire alarm goes off, and even showed the kids how to crawl through smoke.
The biggest problem we have is, smoke detectors. Making sure that they're in every home. A lot of them think that they'll smell the smoke if they're sleeping and be able to get out that way, but it's not the truth.
Shoemaker says it's important for families to have a meetup spot and a plan if there ever is a fire in your home. Each child also received a fire safety book. Well, the Joplin Public Library has a brand new story to tell. Visitors to the library can check out this story walk display by the East Doors. Thanks to the Hughes Charitable Trust, young readers this month can experience Cale Atkinson's story, Explorers of the Wild, an adventure intended to get those little ones moving. The library says the professionally printed pages make a world of difference for the display. Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
How can you get dinner on the table in less than 30 minutes for only pennies a serving? Grab your chopsticks and stick around and we'll show you.
And we're getting hot and we're going to get windy as we head into our Thursday. We'll have a look at your forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM News at noon. So hopefully we enjoyed yesterday. As we showed you in the almanac, it was a textbook October day. Today, it's not going to be significantly warmer, but it will be warmer. It will be warmer than normal. And as we head into Thursday, it's going to be downright hot. Let's start with this, a live look from our camera downtown Pittsburgh. Looking pretty good so far this afternoon. Clear skies out there. Now, we need rain across the area, and I wish I could tell you that there was some on the way, but at this point, nothing's on the horizon, which is not good news for the area. But I mean, on the side, if you've got things outside you need to get done, now's the time to do it because it's also unseasonably warm. You couldn't have a better opportunity. We've got dry conditions continuing as we head through the evening today, and as we go overnight, winds will begin to shift out of the south, and then they're going to start to pick up by tomorrow morning. And as those winds continue to shift by late morning, by about noon, we're going to be out of the southwest, still dealing with those gusty winds, but it's ushering in considerably warmer temperatures across the areas. We're looking at getting, again, downright hot. We're looking at 10, 15 degrees above normal across the region. We head into our Friday, and it's going to be roughly the same deal out there. We have a cold front coming through, if you could really call it that. It's not going to do much for us on our Friday, still 10, 15 degrees above normal. But as we head into the weekend, we will start to see a few changes out there. So again, for today, wind's not going to be a problem, but again, tomorrow morning, even as early as 2, 3 o'clock, initially, since the winds will be out of the south, when they start picking up, they'll be out of the south, gusting upwards of 30, maybe 35 miles an hour, and then that will continue to overspread the area as we head through the afternoon hours, and that will then also begin to shift out of the southwest. And similar to today, or yesterday rather, it won't be until a little later in the evening that those winds will begin to calm down. Now today, again, not dealing with significant winds. We're already up to 74 in Joplin. South breeze at about 7 miles an hour. And I want to show you real quick. I'm going to back that up. This is the other concern, still sticking around with those fire concerns. Dew point humidity extraordinarily low. It's very dry out there. Over in Pittsburgh, sunny skies, 72, south-southwest wind at about 7. Same situation. Dew point humidity very low out there. The air is extraordinarily dry across the region. So again, like we mentioned yesterday, no outdoor burning. Don't be discarding smoking materials or anything else that's flammable out the window or anywhere else for that matter. All right, upper 60s. Monette, Cassville is the cool spots. And then from north to south, we gradually warm up. So 70s, mid 70s, upper 70s. And we're on track for most of us to reach highs into the upper 70s and low 80s. So again, not significantly above average, but definitely not where we should be for this time of year. As we head into this evening, of course, we're warmer today. We'll be warmer this evening. Upper 50s, low 60s. So roughly 8 to 10 degrees above normal. And then tomorrow's when we start to see the 10 to 15 degree above normal ranges. Upper 80s, low 90s, southwest breeze. Again, gusting 25 for the most part, but could still reach 30 to 35 miles an hour. Once we get past that, it stays hot through at least Saturday. So that's what I was talking about. Upper 80s, right around 90 degrees. And then we start to cool back. And this is where it gets a little more interesting is as we head into next week, while unfortunately we still remain dry, we don't have any rain on this forecast, our high temperatures will still be above average, but they'll come down a bit. But our overnight lows are going to start dropping, and they'll be a little below average and going into the upper 40s, near 50. So somewhat seasonable temperatures next week, at least better than what it's going to be the next few days.
All right, that's for sure. All right, thanks, Chris. Well, stick around. We're making chopstick veggie fried rice in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Well, today Howard is sharing his recipe for chopstick veggie fried rice in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
If you're looking for a budget-friendly dinner that you can have on the table in less than 30 minutes, then you're going to love the Veggie Pack fried rice that we're making today. You can even add your own touches to it to make it your very own. We start by scrambling a couple of eggs. Once they're done, we'll set them aside to cool. In the same skillet or wok, we'll add a little oil and some fresh garlic, along with some thawed peas and carrots. Once they heat through, we'll add some cold-cooked long-grain rice and a bit of soy sauce. This is a great way to use up that leftover rice. And the trick to a good fried rice is to make sure you start off with cold rice. That way the rice won't clump together. While that's cooking, we'll chop up our scrambled eggs and add it back to the skillet. If you want, you can even add some leftover cooked chicken, shrimp, or steak. You get the idea. Top it off with a few sliced scallions, and you've got yourself a fried rice that's as good or even better than Chinese takeout. It's a great budget-friendly dinner or a simple side dish. The recipe for our chopstick veggie fried rice is online now, so you can make it as soon as tonight. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a fake-out, takeout way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
Well, you can find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just go to our website, that's KOAMnewsnow.com. Now here's a look at the 4-state market prices.
All right, warming up today, upper 70s, low 80s, breezy tomorrow, upper 80s, low 90s, continuing through Saturday. High temperatures still above normal next week, but not nearly as much as they'll be over the next few days. And our lows by next week falling a little below normal. Unfortunately, though, as I've mentioned, we need rain, and this 10-day forecast is not showing any of that in the foreseeable future.
No, it's not.
Too bad.
It really is. All right, thanks, Chris. And Dow by the for us later on.
Well, a whole lot's coming up today at 5 for starters. Car crashes are the second leading cause of death for kids ages 4 to 10. And a new study finds out many children that age are not being kept in a booster seat that could save their lives. We're going to hear what experts have to say about keeping your child secure while on the road. It's important information. Plus, we're going to take a look at Amendment 6 on the Missouri ballot, which involves court case fees funding law enforcement salaries and benefits. And the CAF Rise Above Squadron brings its educational outreach program to Southeast Kansas with an opportunity to learn about Coffeyville's aviation history. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A whole lot more, of course. It's all coming up today. KOAM News at 5.
Absolutely. Thank you, Dow. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. We'll see you right back here at 5. Until then, have a great rest of your day.